let's continue looking at functions here. On this one, if you remember the other day, we talked about some basic shapes of functions and how they are shifted. First of all, I want to remind you of that. When we have a function inside the parentheses, it is shifted in the opposite direction, left or right, than what you would think. So a negative shifts you right, a positive shifts you left. Outside the function or outside the parentheses, a positive shifts you up, and a negative shifts you down. So let's remember some basic equations. Remember, when we have x and y are both to the first power, I'm going to have a linear equation. When x is to the second power, I'm going to have a parabola of some kind. When we have the absolute value of x, we're going to have a v of some kind. When I have x to the third power, I'm going to have a snake or an s, but it generally looks like this. Now, let's look at this first and consider what this is going to do. Then we'll fill out here as far as x and f of x. Inside the parentheses, I've got x minus 3. Inside the parentheses, it goes in the opposite direction of what I would think. So it would shift 3 to the right. So let's go over 1, 2, 3 to the right. And then outside of parentheses, it goes up 2. So I know that in general, this thing is going to look like a parabola that has shifted. Now, you know I can't freehand that very well. That has shifted 3 to the right and 2 up. Let's plug in some values here and see what we get. Plug in a negative 2. You get negative 2 minus 3 squared plus 2. Negative 2 minus 3 is negative 5. Negative 5 squared plus 2 is 25 plus 2, which is 27. So a negative 2 would give me a positive 27. Let's look at a negative 1. Negative 1 minus 3 is negative 4. Negative 4 squared is positive 16 plus 2 is 18. 0 minus 3 is minus 3. Minus 3 squared plus 2 is 11. So I know at 0 this thing hits somewhere wherever this is 11. So this thing keeps going up. It's going to be symmetrical. In other words, it's going to be a pretty parabola. At 1, 1 minus 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 squared is positive 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. So I know at 1, I'm going to make that a better looking 11. At 1, my answer is going to be 6. So I know you can't be perfect, but you're going to be at 6, somewhere right in there. And then finally at 2, 2 minus 3 is negative 1. Negative 1 squared is 1. 1 plus 2 is 3. So at 1, at 2, you'll be hitting at 3. That's a pretty good guess I made. I don't ask for it, but look at what happens at a positive 3. If I plug in 3, 3 minus 3 is 0. 0 plus 2, it gives me right there, it gives me the bottom point, doesn't it? I want you to understand the basic shifts. On the test, I think I do give you one where you have to plug and chug these values. Just do what it says, and if you understand the basic shifts, you're going to know whether you're right or not. Let's look at another one. Here's one that is x cubed plus 1. Remember what I said about cubes? Cubes are going to end up looking like a snake, okay? So it's going to be that same snake that goes up and out like this and down through here. Oh, shoot. See if I can do a control Z there. Yeah. Come down through here. Now am I going to hit it right freehanding with my computer? No. But that is what it's going to do. Let's look at it. Negative 2 cubed, negative 2 cubed plus 1. Negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2 is a negative 8 plus 1 plus 1 is negative 7. So at negative 2, you're going to get a negative 7. So it's going to be down here somewhere. Yeah, well, y'all can laugh at me. I can't hit that thing with my pen. It's going to be a smooth curve. So at negative 2, you're going to get a negative 7. At negative 1, what will we get? Negative 1 cubed plus 1. Negative 1 times negative 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. Plus 1 is 0. So at negative 1, you're going through 0 right there. At 0, think about that. 0 cubed plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So that tells me at 0, it goes through the y-axis at 1. I plug in a 1. 1 cubed is 1 times 1 times 1, which is 1. Plus 1 is 2. Finally, 2 cubed is 8 plus 1 is 9. I want you to understand the basic shifts. Here I had a plus 1 outside, so it shifted my snake starting at the origin up 1. See, I think I do an absolute value one here. Yeah. So think about this. This is an absolute value equation. It's going to be a V-shaped. All right? Plus 2 inside the function or inside the absolute value sign is going to shift you left 2. The minus 1 is going to shift you down 1. So here he's going to be right there and he's going to be a V. I can't hit it perfectly. So negative 2 plus 2, the absolute value of negative 2 plus 2 minus 1. Negative 2 plus 2 is 0. The absolute value of 0 is 0. So at negative 2, you're going to get a negative 1. We nailed it. Negative 1 plus 2. I'm doing the next one. Absolute value of that minus 1. Negative 1 plus 2 is a positive 1. The absolute value of positive 1 is 1. Minus 1 is 0. Now, all right, let's come over here. 0, the absolute value of 0 plus 2 minus 1. 0 plus 2 is 2. The absolute value of 2 is 2. 2 minus 1 is 1. So at 0, it's 1. All right, 1 plus 2 is 3. The absolute value of 3 is 3. 3 minus 1 is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4. Absolute value of 4 is 4 minus 1 is 3. So you'll notice, knowing the shifts, you're always going to know what these are. You're going to get these. Using the vertical line test to determine if a graph is a function. All right, I'm going to change colors of my pen here. And I want to see. Remember, if I can draw, I lose my pen. Let me see if I can find a thicker pen here. That's going to be better. Now, if I can draw a vertical line and hit the graph in more than one place, and I can do this lots of places, it is not a function. So is this a function? No. Take a look at another one. Now, when a parabola is opened up or opened down, I'm not going to try to trick you. I cannot draw a line and hit that graph in more than one place. So is that a function? Yes, it is a function. How about this squiggly line here? Can I draw a line and hit it in more than one place? No, I cannot. I'm not going to try to trick you. So yes, this is a function. This graph, though, I can draw a line and hit this straight line if I were able to draw it straight. I hit that in multiple places, so is that a function? Absolutely not. Oh gosh, that was terrible. No, it is not a function. I didn't mean to shift my page over there, but no, it is not a function. No, it is not a function. Because I can draw a vertical line and hit it in more than one place. All right, let's see what we have next. Oh, good. This is something new that we were unable to cover last week. Finding the slope of the line that passes through 2 points. All right, the formula is m, which is the slope, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Do not be scared of these. You're given 2 points. My first point is simply x1, y1. My second point is simply x2, y2. So to find the slope, I'm going to take my second y, which was a 5 there, 5 minus my first y, which was a 4. I'm going to divide it by my second x, which was 5. Subtract my first x, which was 3. So 5 minus 4 over 5 minus 3. So my slope is 1/2. That's the answer. What is the slope of the line that passes through 3, 4, 5, 5? It's 1/2. Let's do another one of these. Find the slope of the line that passes through the points 0, -2, and 3, 1. All right, m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So what was my second y? It's 1 minus my first y, which was -2. If it's negative, put it in parentheses because I'm going to be subtracting a negative number. Oh, all right, x2 was 3. x1 was 0. 3 minus 0. I would take notes on these and take them into the classroom when you're taking your test. 1 minus -2. Remember, minus a minus is a plus. So I have 1 plus 2 over 3 minus 0, which is 3. 3 over 3. The slope of the line that passes through those pair of points is simply 1. And the key there is when I subtract a negative number, I'm adding, right? 1 minus -2 is 1 plus 2, which is 3. All right. Let's do another one. M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. See what we have. My second y here is 4. So I have 4 minus 1. My first y is 1. x2 minus x1. So I got a -2 there. -2 minus my first x was a -6. I'm going to put it in parentheses. 4 minus 1 is 3. -2 minus a -6 is -2 plus 6. So I have 3 over -2 plus 6 is a +4. So my slope is 3/4. See how easy those are? Let's look at another one. This one is the one that sometimes mixes folks up, but it won't. It should not. On this one, you are actually given the slope, and one of the x's or y's is missing. You've got to solve for it. So what we have to remember is that our equation is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So in this one, they give you the slope of 3. So I'm going to put a 3 in for the slope equals y2 is negative 10 minus 5 over x2 is negative 3 minus, I don't know what x1 is, so I'm just going to put an x there. So I'm going to be solving for x. I'm going to put parentheses around these. And I'm going to get 3 equals negative 10 minus 5 is negative 15 over negative 3 minus x. Now, how do I get rid of that fraction? I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 3 minus x. On the right side, these are going to cancel out. On the left side, remember I have to distribute this 3. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. 3 times negative x is negative 3x. So I have negative 3x, negative 9 minus 3x equals negative 15. I'm going to run out of space. Add 9 to both sides. These go away. On the left, I just have negative 3x equals negative 15 plus 9 is negative 6. Divide both sides by negative 3. These cancel out. X equals negative 6 over negative 3, which is a positive 2. And you can go back in with the original formula and say, well, would that give me a slope of 3? In other words, check your value. And you can do this with multiple choice questions easily. Check which one works. In other words, let's do the formula here. Negative 10 minus 5 is negative 15. Negative 3 minus 2 on the bottom gives me a negative 5. Negative 15 over negative 5 does give me a positive 3. So I know, I get a warm fuzzy that x equals 2 is my correct answer. Let's work another one of these. This one has a y value missing, but I'm still going to set it up. Remember? M equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I get m, oh shoot, I got to put my m in. The slope is 2, so I have 2 equals 10 minus y over 8 minus 6. I'm going to go ahead and simplify this. 2 equals 10 minus y. 8 minus 6 is 2. What am I going to do? I'm going to multiply both sides by 2 to clear that fraction. These are easier when they're missing a y. Those cancel out. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 equals 10 minus y. You know how I am. I'm going to add y to both sides. Make that variable positive. I get 4 plus y equals 10. Now I'm going to subtract 4 from each side. 4 plus y equals 10. subtract 4, subtract 4, y equals 6. And then test it. Say, okay, that y should be 6. So 10 minus 6 over 8 minus 6 is 4 over 2, which gives me a slope of 2, and I get a warm fuzzy.